The Galactic Council chamber stretched across 3 kilometers of polished obsidian floor, its ceiling lost in the artificial twilight above. Representatives from 47 species occupied their designated seats, each throne carved from materials sacred to their homeworlds. But one seat remained conspicuously empty. It had been empty for 300 cycles, the seat marked for Earth. Ambassador Thrain of the Vox Collective adjusted his translation implant and studied the vacant throne. It was modest compared to others, made of simple stone and metal, positioned neither at the head nor the tail of the great circle. Yet every being in the chamber was aware of it. Always aware. "We should dissolve the designation," hissed Representative Kovalesh, her scales rippling with irritation. 3 centuries without contact. The humans are clearly extinct or irrelevant. A nervous silence followed her words. It always did when someone suggested removing Earth's seat. Thrain watched as Council Prime Zerath, a being of pure energy contained within a crystalline form, pulsed with what might have been amusement, or perhaps warning. "The seat remains," Zerath said, its voice resonating through every being's mind. "As it has, as it must." Kovalesh slammed her appendage against her podium. "This is absurd. We extend an invitation to join the most powerful alliance in the galaxy, and they ignore us. For 300 cycles, either they are too primitive to respond, or they are dead. Either way, they do not deserve a seat among us." Thrain had heard this argument before. Every few cycles, a new representative would raise the same complaint. They were always young, always inexperienced, always ignorant of why the seat truly remained empty. "Perhaps," ventured Ambassador Yulani of the Sophori Union, her voice like wind through crystals, "we should send another delegation, attempt contact once more." The temperature in the chamber dropped noticeably. "No," said a gravelly voice from the shadows. Elder Cross of the Mandorian Empire rarely spoke, but when he did, others listened. His species had been spacefaring for 12,000 years. They remembered things others had forgotten. "We do not send delegations to Earth. Not anymore." "Why?" Kovalesh demanded. "Why do we cower before a species that cannot even answer our calls?" Cross's multiple eyes fixed on her. "Because the last delegation we sent never returned." "So? Space is dangerous. Ships are lost." "That proves nothing except that—" "It was not one ship," Cross interrupted. "It was 17 vessels, a full diplomatic armada, the finest ships from a dozen species, crews numbering over 8,000 beings. They entered the Sol system 312 cycles ago." He paused, letting the weight of those numbers settle. "We received one transmission, just one. Would you like to know what it said?" The chamber waited. It said, "Go back. We are not ready for you. You are not ready for us." Kovalesh laughed, a sharp chittering sound. "They threatened you, and you obeyed?" "They did not threaten," Cross said quietly. "That was the terrifying part. There was no aggression in the message, no weapons fired, no demands made, just a simple statement. And then our ships tried to leave." "Tried?" Thrain found himself asking, though he already knew the answer. "Their engines would not engage. Their navigation systems reset to unknown coordinates. Every single ship, simultaneously. For 3 days, they drifted in space, powerless. The crews reported seeing nothing. No human vessels, no weapons platforms, no visible technology of any kind. But they felt watched." "Felt?" Kovalesh scoffed. "Emotions are not evidence." "On the 4th day," Cross continued as if she had not spoken, "their systems returned to full function. Every ship, at the exact same moment. They were pushed, gently but irresistibly, back to the edge of the Sol system. When they crossed the heliopause, a second message came through." "What did it say?" Yulani asked. "Thank you for understanding. We will call you when we are ready. Please do not return uninvited." The chamber remained silent. "We sent a response," Cross said. "We asked when they would be ready, how long we should wait. The humans replied within minutes. Their answer was 3 words. Not yet. Wait." "That was 300 cycles ago," Zerath observed. "And we have waited, because the question, honored representatives, is not why we allow them a seat they do not occupy. The question is, what kind of species could neutralize 17 of our finest vessels without firing a shot? What kind of species could predict our arrival before we announced it? What kind of species could reprogram technology they should not understand from a distance we could not detect?" Thrain felt his secondary hearts accelerating. He had wondered about this since joining the council. Now he understood. "You think they are gods," Kavalesh said, but her voice had lost its edge. "No," Cross replied. "Gods we could understand. Gods would demand worship or obedience. The humans asked for nothing except to be left alone. That is what terrifies us. They have power we cannot comprehend, and they choose not to use it. They could have destroyed our delegation. They did not. They could have come here and taken seats by force. They have not. They simply wait." "Wait for what?" someone asked. Zerath pulsed brightly. "We have spent 3 centuries trying to answer that question. We have sent probes to observe from a distance. The humans do not interfere with them. We watch their world. They know we watch. They do not care. Or perhaps they allow it." The crystalline being shifted, patterns of light dancing within its form. "What we have observed is this. Earth's technology progresses at rates we thought impossible. Not gradually, but in leaps. They split the atom within decades of inventing powered flight. They reached their moon within a century of achieving flight. They built quantum computers before they had stable fusion. Each advancement comes faster than the last." "Perhaps they steal technology," Kavalesh suggested weakly. "From whom?" Cross asked. "They have no contact with other species, and yet they develop technologies we do not possess. 3 of our best scientists studied their public broadcasts. Do you know what they concluded?" No one answered. "They concluded that humans do not invent sequentially. They imagine everything first, then spend decades making their imagination real. They dreamed of flight for thousands of years before achieving it. They wrote stories about faster-than-light travel before they reached orbit. They are not discovering technology. They are manifesting prophecy." Thrain thought about this, about a species that could dream of things that did not exist and then will them into being. "There is something else," Zerath said. "Something we discovered only recently. Earth has been visited before, long before we existed. Ancient species whose names are lost to time. We found evidence in archaeological sites across the galaxy, warnings carved in dead languages, all saying the same thing." "What did they say?" Yulani whispered. "The dreamers wake slowly. Do not rush them. Do not threaten them. When they dream together, reality bends to their will." The chamber erupted in disbelief and fear. But Thrain understood now. He understood why the seat remained empty, why no one dared remove it. Why the most powerful alliance in the galaxy waited patiently for a species that might never come. Because when humanity finally decided they were ready, when they finally chose to take their seat among the stars, nothing in the galaxy would ever be the same. The question was not whether they would come. The question was what reality would look like when they did. And so the seat remained empty, a promise, a warning, a hope. And the galaxy held its breath, waiting for the dreamers to wake.